So basically, I've been wanting Uggs for a whole, 1 month now. So what did I do? Ordered some good dupes because that's what we're here today for, to see if these are good. Now, me, I don't really care about name brands. I don't care about brands, period, to be honest. So, if they look good, they don't even need to look exactly like the Uggs, just if they look good. I got from the brand Dream Pairs on Amazon. Let's see, you guys get to see first. My turn. So you can't see it. Wow, these are pretty bussin', guys. Wow. Smells like a factory. Okay, let's try these bad boys on. They look pretty freaking comfy. See, like the inside's all fuzzy. Aw, so you feel nice and fuzzy inside. Which one's the left? Whoa. I need bigger pants because I don't want the outside part to show. I don't like when shoes do that. Yeah, because look at this. I feel like my pants aren't wide enough. You can't see them. Can you see them? Ow! That hurt. What do we think? Let me try walking around. These are gonna bust down in the cold weather. If you know me, you know I refuse to wear pants. I do. They just get way too hot. It's finally weather where I can wear them. I like them. They're pretty comfy. Whoa. Get a taste. Just lick it. Maybe with shorts. Maybe with shorts. I'm gonna put shorts on, okay? Because I want to go buy a burger. Okay, with shorts, they look kind of clunky, but I already changed. Look at this fuck-ass outfit. Stanley Cup in hand. Okay, let's go. Hot. Vocabulary word of the day. Hot. Dude, this outfit I'm wearing like every color of the damn rainbow. But I think it looks good and that's what matters. Okay, let's go. Cup bags. They're usually like this. Instead of giving them like this. That's right. Those are really freaking delicious. These are my second favorite burgers on earth. My favorites are the ones in Pete's Burgers. Don't get it twisted. But these ones are close second. Bag secured.
What was that?
Yeah. Push. We're live. Hey. Welcome to a very different video than the rest. I don't have a microphone, so I'm using my phone so that I have something in my hand and I don't feel crazy. Welcome to a new series. I don't know if series is the right word. A new series on my channel where I don't have a podcast, but if I did, it would look like this. So here's episode 1 of I don't have a podcast, but if I did. Is that name stupid? Let me know in the comments. This is going to be pretty different from my usual videos because, well, my usual videos are full of cuts, edits, sound effect, music, so it's a little bit different than that. And I haven't posted in a bit, and my posting's been really odd lately. So I decided that whenever I don't post for a bit, I'll just do one of these little episodes and have a little chat with you guys. Because there's some vlogs coming in that are going to be kind of out of order. They're not in chronological order. So I think the next vlog I'm going to put out is my birthday party for my 22nd birthday, which was all the way back in March. And then after that, it might be a travel vlog where I went on this trip with my brothers. And then there's going to be a solo vlog. A solo trip. That I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. It's doing what? So this episode is going to be basically covering what that solo trip's going to be about. So if you're already tired of me talking about it, buckle up. But this is the last time I'm going to talk about it, okay? All right? I promise you guys. Okay? Pinky promise. Anyways, we all know, if you watch my videos, I went through a breakup recently. Whatever. It's been a couple months. I love you, Conan Gray. I'm kind of going to talk about it, okay? I promise this is the last time, but it's going to explain something. Because I'm going to go on a solo trip to that city that this person lives in. I say lived like if they died or something. I'm going to go to that city because, well, I have no memories from that city on my own, right? So every time somebody mentions that damn city, obviously my memories go to this person that I was with, you know? If you don't have any memories on your own, obviously every time you're going to think of them. And that's what's happening. And suddenly everyone and their fucking mamas is in... Bleep that. So I'm going to talk about that breakup and this whole journey that I've been on, because I've been on a very self-exploration journey since that breakup that I haven't talked to you guys about. And I was going to talk about it in that travel vlog, like on the way there, because it's a fucking 2-hour drive. So my plan was that I was going to talk about it on the drive there, but every time I think about that topic, I kind of want to cry. And I don't want to cry in a video like that, because that video is supposed to be a lighthearted one. Also, I have this blanket because I planned on doing this yesterday when it was raining, and today it's like 80 degrees. It's 79 degrees today, right now. And I'm in my freaking Nightmare Before Christmas blanket. It just fits the vibe. I wrote down what I wanted to say in here so that this feels structured, because it would not have been. I promise you, it would not. Basically, to wrap up that whole relationship, it started amazing. Like, it was great. And then sometime around June, things got bad. So from June all the way up until the end of July, it was horrible. Not horrible. It was bad. It wasn't good at all. It was really bad. Like, it got to the point where I'm surrounded by couples. Everyone and their mom is in a couple right now, in a relationship. And now I'm not. But in the moment, like in the months of June and July, I would see like my friends, and like they'd be with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And, you know, they would hang out and like they would say such sweet things to each other. And it got to a point where I would think to myself like, oh, this person wouldn't say that to me. And it would be something simple like, oh, you're so pretty today. And in my head, I'd be thinking, oh, wow, like this person wouldn't tell me that. And then, are you realizing how freaking bad that... It was obviously like things like they would go out like on a cute date. And in my head, I'd be thinking like, oh, if I tried like asking this person if we could do a date like that, they would say, no, that's cringe. Which... that's how they get ya. Dude, like literally one time I asked like, oh, can we do a photo booth? And at the beginning of the relationship, it was like, I would ask, oh, can we do this? And the answer I would get would be like, yeah, let's do it. Right. By the end, I remember asking if we could do a photo booth. And they said, no, I'm not doing a photo booth. That's tacky. Near the end, a lot of things were kind of like that, where we wouldn't do things because they would say like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not a fun feeling. And I'm going to get to why I stuck around, but it was a weird shift in the sense that there was a time where we weren't communicating very much, and it was becoming too much for me, that I was like, we're doing long distance and you're not calling. And when I do call you, you don't answer. When I do text, you spend hours before you text me back, you know? So it got to a point where I had to, in my head, I was thinking, if this doesn't get better, then I'm going to have to jump ship, you know? And well, eventually I was like, well, it can't get better if I don't say anything, you know? That's where the communication stuff comes in. And in this relationship, I did learn a lot about communication, and it became pretty easy to me, like communication, which that's really important in a relationship. So by the end, I was perfectly fine communicating my feelings, except the feelings that I didn't know I was feeling, which I'll get to. And the other person like didn't know how to communicate. So everything started to come undone in a sense. Anyways, there were multiple times where I thought, if this doesn't get better, like I'm gonna have to jump ship. And my friends were telling me, no, are you sure you want to give up on this? Like, you seem so happy now. But they didn't know that, like, I'd be crying myself to sleep at night. So obviously I get, like, that they thought everything was good. And, well, it wasn't. It was not. Like, looking back at it now, I should have jumped shipped. No, I shouldn't have, honestly, because this person had their own issues, their own battles, which I won't get into. Like, I understand why they did the things they did, and that's why I don't hate this person. And I do hope that this person finds, happiness, learns to love themselves. This person had their own issues and their own battles that I won't get into because it's not my business to tell. And so when I tell people how it ended, they're really quick to judge this person, which this might be unhealthy. I'm not sure. But people will be like, oh, fuck, like, tell me that. And I feel icky when I don't like when they say that. Like, I can say whatever I want. Like, I'd be like, oh, this person freaking left me. Like, they just up and left. And, like, well, I was in it, If somebody else says something, I feel like, you don't know the whole story, And I'm not going to tell them because if someone trusted me with something, I'm not going to go and tell people, even if, like, it would help their character. But the thing is, like, people don't need to like this person, I don't need to convince my friends that they were a good person. My friends think this person was a bad person, and they don't know the whole story, and I don't need to tell them the whole story. They don't need to know that. And if this person trusted me with these things, I'm not telling anyone. Like, I still haven't told anybody the things that they trusted me with because they trusted me, and I wouldn't tell anybody. So me personally, I do understand. But the thing that I came to realize is that even though I understand where this person was coming from, why this person acted the way they acted, why they ended things the way they did, why they weren't good at communicating, I understand all that. And I also understand that just because this person had their own issues doesn't mean I had to suffer the brunt of all that, That was a crazy realization. So, yeah. The ending was kind of not the cleanest. It was a little bit, not really messy, honestly. I saw it coming, which I'm telling you, like, June, I started to notice little things that I was like, this person wants to leave. Not that. Okay, so there were certain things that this person would do where I didn't feel like I was being prioritized to them. Like, to me, this person was one of my priorities. Like, it was work, family, and, this person. It didn't feel like it was reciprocated. At the beginning, it did. At the beginning, it felt like, wow, like, this person really likes me, and I really like them. Like turned to love. By the end, it felt, on my side, it was still love. And on their end, it felt like resentment. Like, they went from really liking me to loving me to being annoyed by me to hating me to the point where they didn't want to answer my message. It got bad to the point where I asked, like, do you have a timer for when to text me? Because I would get a text message every hour on the hour. Or, like, within a 10-minute radius. Even if I replied immediately after, like, in the same second while they're still typing, I wouldn't get a response till the next hour. And I asked, like, do you have a timer? Like, I started to feel kind of odd. And the response in the moment, it gave me, like, okay, it makes sense. But thinking about it now, it's like, wow, I wasn't your priority at all, Because the response they gave me was, oh, my notifications delete after a certain amount of time. So in the moment, I was thinking, like, okay, that makes sense. But in hindsight, I was thinking about this person 24/7. I would be eating a sandwich and I'd be thinking, this would be so fun if this person were here. And I had my own life. We were doing long distance. I did my own things with my friends, all that. Even, like, I'd be drinking and one of my first thoughts was, wow, this is so fun. Imagine how fun it would be if I did something like this with this person, and I was constantly thinking about them. So in hindsight, it seemed like they weren't thinking about me. They were just looking at the time limit of the notification. And, well, this might sound like I'm being like just anxious or crazy or whatever, but that was like the smallest thing, you know. By the end, the last couple of days, they wouldn't text me their whole work shift, not on their breaks, not on their lunch. And the second to last day, I was going to a concert with my friends. And I remember they texted me before their shift at 9. I didn't get a text back from them until 5:30. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm off of work. It was, oh, I'm eating with my coworker. And I was like, dang, like I was waiting for a text back all day. And I had messaged this person like, oh, concert fit. Because even when they were working, I would like send updates if I wasn't working. And if I was working and they weren't, they would send me updates. So, but at this point, things weren't clicking with us anymore. Not clicking with us, not clicking for them. For me, everything was sunshine and rainbows, but not for them, So you can't really fight that. I'd really tried hanging on. I thought it would get better. I thought it would be like how it was at the beginning. But no, at this point, they weren't talking to me for hours on end. Even if they didn't have work, it would be like 4 hours would pass and I wouldn't have a text. And, I'd ask like, oh, how are you? Like, what did you do today? And they would just say like, oh, I was out. Meanwhile, I wanted to have a conversation. Once it gets to that point, you already know. The last like 2 weeks, I saw it coming. I just wanted to hold on a little bit longer. That was the first time I'd been in love. So you want to hang on to that kind of thing. Anyways, back to the concert. I had texted this person, concert fit, and they responded after saying like they were eating with their coworkers. They said, concert? What concert? Meanwhile, I had mentioned this concert time and time again. Even the days before, the last time we hung out. It was like, wow, you're not even paying attention to the things that I'm saying. And one of the messages I had sent while they were at work was because my friend usually has Halloween parties. And this person, there was a time where I was like, oh, you could meet all my friends at this Halloween party, but you have to wear a costume. If not, you can't go to the party. Not to be like an asshole, but like that's just like the rule of the party. Like you need to be in costume because if not, then it's not fun for everyone. Which is not my rule either. It's my friend's rule. Litzy ain't gonna let you slide, So I had thought about it, and they had said like they would wear a Harry Potter robe. And so I had thought of couples costumes because I've always wanted to be in a relationship. My whole life. Since I was in kindergarten, I wanted to be married. I knew that from an early age. I always wanted to do couple things. I always wanted to do the cute little cheesy things. And this person cared a lot about what other people think. Like they wouldn't do things because they were cheesy. Like one thing is Billie Eilish. I really love Billie Eilish's music. This person stopped listening to Billie Eilish when she blew up. And this person liked songs that they were underground, but once they got popular, they didn't like it anymore because everybody else liked it. Which is a red flag. I'm telling you right now, it's a red flag. Run. Run as fast as you can. Don't look. As fast as I can. As fast as you can. That's from The Incredibles. Anyways, back to this. Sorry, I keep getting off track. Halloween. I had ideas for couples costumes because I'm telling you, I really always wanted to do couples things. So I sent them this list. They were easy costumes. Like you could get by like sewing something onto your shirt and it would make, like one of the costume ideas I had was Jesse and James from Pokemon because this person loved Pokemon. I liked Pokemon as a kid, but the costume was so cool, which honestly you could wear white pants, a shirt, and then, it didn't have to be hard. And it would be like you're wearing clothes, but everybody knows who you are. And we just needed a mouth plush and boom, So it was a bunch of ideas like that. Easy ones, Batman and Robin. That was probably the most complicated one, which you could find an easy way of doing that too. Cosmo and Wanda, simple, color your hair, wear a button down black pants or a pink shirt, So they were all easy ideas because I knew. And they said, no, I'm not dressing up for Halloween. Never have, never will. And that struck me a horrible way. Like, I'm a sensitive person, but even that, I feel like when they start talking to you like that, you need to learn from me. This was 2 days before this person broke up with me. They broke up with me, by the way. Once I got that text message, I was already inside the venue crying. I started crying to the point where my friends were like asking me, "Are you okay?" And I would try blinking my tears away, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's get lit." And I would pretend that I was looking at the bar. He's here at the bar. Because I was all the way on the left side, and the bar was to my left, and my friends were all to the right side. And so I would be looking like this at the bar so that they couldn't see, and I'd be blinking away my tears so they wouldn't see. And well, texted me. So then, you know how that goes. I was just crying. And there was one point in the concert where I thought to myself, a big shift happened that day. Okay? Let me tell you that. In that moment, I thought, I'm hanging out with my friends. We're in LA. We're at a concert for a cool-ass freaking band. It was Axe and the Hatchetmen. Cool-ass band with fun music. And here I am crying about somebody who doesn't give a damn about me. And then it clicked. Why the hell am I here crying at a concert in LA with somebody who doesn't give a damn about me? Which I actually wrote a song about that called Crying at a Concert. EP when. Anyways, I realized that and I thought, I'm going to have a good time tonight. This person is going to the back of my mind. I'm not going to think about them for the rest of the night. Tonight, not like in a sense of like, I'm single. I can be with whoever I want. In a sense of, this person doesn't matter right now. I matter. I'm going to have fun listening to music and dancing. Not in the sense of that I know somebody's there thinking like that. I'm thinking of being a hoe or something. No, I'm thinking of having fun. So, sorry, I needed a sip. I was getting too intense. The rest of the night, I just listened to the music. I love music. I love instruments. I want to make music. So I was having so much fun just listening and being there and dancing. Like, I didn't really talk to my friends. I was me and my other friend were like fifth and sixth wheeling, but we were on opposite sides. So I was next to one couple, And usually at concerts, I talk a lot. But this one, it was just me. And like, I had a great time and it was so fun. I always have fun at concerts, but this one was a different kind of fun. And by the time they texted me back again, like they said like, oh, costumes make me uncomfy, At that point, I didn't care at all. Like, I didn't even care that they texted me. I didn't open it, nothing. I just thought, I'm having fun right now. I can't be constantly crying about somebody who doesn't care about me. It was... Yeah. By the end of the concert on the way home, I looked at my messages and they, I did feel kind of bad because they texted me like, tell your friends I said hi. I hope you're having fun. Good night. Love you. And I did feel bad, which I don't think they tried guilt tripping me. Like, I'm not saying they did. I'm saying I did feel guilty afterwards though, which wasn't a good sign. This person made me feel bad to the point where I felt so bad that I only thought about myself and making myself happy. And then I felt guilty afterwards that that's not something you want to do. If you are in something like that, you need to run. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is what's going to happen. The next day, we didn't talk a lot throughout the day. And by the end of the day, we had a really bad argument, which... Okay, I'm not a jealous person. The only times I get jealous are when somebody gives me a reason to be jealous. And even then, I wasn't jealous. The jealousy wasn't an issue. This person, I think they did think it was. Jealousy and trust, but that wasn't the problem. Let me fill you in on that, but I need to charge this thing. Hold on. Where is my freaking charger? Here it is. Found it. Oh my gosh, it doesn't reach. Disker. Hold on. I got a little older. I might need to move you guys a little bit back. Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Does that still look good? Am I in frame? That's what matters. Anyways, let's get back to the story. For the sake of the story, I'll throw it back to the chorus. Audrey Hilbert, Silver Jubilee. Sorry, I needed to get comfy. Are you guys comfy? Comment down below. Anyway. Flash forward to, that argument. I didn't have a jealousy problem. And this person just made the worst jokes ever. Not worse, like not funny. I mean jokes like They would make me feel, not all the time, it was once in a while, they would make a joke that made me feel icky. This joke, I even told this person, like, ask anybody. Anytime that I had a problem with something that this person said, to this day, I stand that I had a reason to be upset. To this day, this person, if they think that I was in the wrong, ask anyone. I'm not going to say what it is because I'm so embarrassed that I put up with that if I were to say this right here, right now, I would be embarrassed and everyone would be embarrassed for me, to be honest. And this joke, because they left comments on a lot of Instagram reels and TikTok videos that just, they made me feel gross. This specific comment was taking things way too far over the line, though. At this point, I'm telling you, at the concert, something switched that day where I didn't want to put up with not being loved anymore. Like, it was starting to get annoying that they just didn't care at all. And this night, I did think about ending things the night of our last argument. I didn't say goodnight because this person fell asleep. To this day, that does bother me. I was always under the impression that the best couples, like, you never go to bed angry at each other. You never go to bed sad with each other. The last 2 weeks, I cried myself to sleep every night. The last 2 months, I cried a lot of those nights to sleep. And it wasn't vice versa, okay? It's not that we fell out of love with each other. It's that this person fell out of love, and I was realizing that, and it was starting to hurt me. Because I still loved this person so much at the time. And they just didn't care. Not they didn't care, but they made it seem like they didn't care. Like, I started to feel like a burden. The whole last 2 weeks, I would cry every night thinking, why is this person so cold to me? Why is this person who used to be so sweet to me and so nice? It was a completely different person by the end. I'm not lying to you. At the beginning, they were so sweet to me. They were so nice to everybody. Giving food to homeless people, you know? Something out of a freaking cartoon. By the end, this person was so cold to me, didn't talk much to me anymore. They would complain about everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. I couldn't say, can we do this? Because it would be, no, I don't want to do that. No, this is too this. No, this is too that. No, that's too cringe. No, that's too tacky. That's too cheesy. You know, it eats at you. And all I can say now is that my intentions were pure, and all I wanted was to love someone and be loved in return. And I thought that was happening, and I constantly thought maybe my nice person, my sweet person will come back and love me again. So I kept holding out hope, but that wasn't the only reason why I kept holding out. It was also because this is going to be really bad. I had this fear that when people get to know me more, they would always leave me. And it's happened multiple times where they'll think I'm too annoying, I'm too loud, I talk too much, you know, I love too much, I'm too affectionate. And after about like 5 times in a row that happens, you start to really believe it. And I had told this person from the beginning, like, you know, at the beginning, you tell them, like, your fears, your worries, you know, of, like, previous relationships. And this person knew that. So when they started getting cold, I started thinking, is this happening again? And this person didn't clearly give me reasons to believe, but they were showing reasons for me to believe that they wanted to leave me, you know? And that's where I'm saying there was a confusion maybe between jealousy and trust. It wasn't that I was jealous. It wasn't that I trusted them. It was that they were showing me that they didn't take me seriously anymore. And they didn't see me as a priority anymore. Little things like they had told me that like they were saying hi to their brother for me, you know? And one day we went to pick up their brother from the airport, and I was like, wow, this like, maybe I was being anxious. Like they want me to meet their brother, you know? Like I was worried about nothing all along. And so I was so excited to meet this kid's brother. And we were at the airport, the brother's coming to the car, and then I'm like, oh, you want me to sit in the back? They're like, no, you can sit. You were in the front. You can sit in the front. They can go in the back. So I was like, whoa, cool. The brother's walking into the car, and then they tell me, oh, by the way, to my brother, you're just a friend. By the way, to my brother, you're just a friend. That hurt my stomach physically. That was, I think, the second to last time we hung out. Something had happened a few nights before where I was asking, like, do your friends know that we're serious? And they said, maybe not. So things were starting to click, like, wow, this kid, they're showing so many signs that they don't want me anymore. They want to get rid of me, you know? And I didn't sell you, but that day I had already noticed that this person wouldn't like hug me anymore, wouldn't kiss me anymore. It was usually me doing the heavy lifting. And so I thought, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait for them to do it. And they never did. Nighttime came and it was almost time for me to go home. I didn't get one hug. I didn't get one kiss. And compared to like our second date, I was getting hugs the whole time. I was getting kissed the whole time. So you kind of realize that. And this person had told me from the beginning, like, I'm not super affectionate. And I didn't care because I wasn't really either, physically. But our first date, you know, I was getting kisses, hugs, you know, to the point where I forgot that they had mentioned they're not affectionate. And so eventually they weren't affectionate at all. And I asked, like, before it was time for me to leave, I asked, like, can we talk? And I asked, like, what's going on? Like, you didn't kiss me or anything. And they were like, I told you I'm not affectionate. Straight to the stomach. That does hurt. And what they told me was, they said, I just got flashbacks. And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, you reminded me of my ex. They begged for affection and then I didn't want to talk to them anymore. Once they mention their ex and compare you to them, you need to run away. You need to run. I didn't run because I was so scared that this person still hadn't left me after getting to know me. They didn't leave. So I thought this is the best I'm ever going to get. I need to keep holding on, you know? Which is you can't think that. You really can't. You can't. And I didn't realize that until afterwards, after the breakup. Like, that day was so bad that after we got back from the airport, it was like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I wasn't supposed to leave until like 8 or 9 p.m. that night. But when we got back from the airport, I was so nauseous. I was this close to saying, I think I'm just going to head home. Because I felt so horrible. We went out to eat, and I was so nauseous that I couldn't eat. We went to the movie theaters. I was so nauseous that I couldn't eat. And they would tell me, like, you want some of my food? Like, it was really bad. Flash forward, a month after the breakup, this person was back on dating apps. I wasn't on dating apps to date. This person had given me reason to believe that they would go to dating apps quick afterwards. And so I would check. I'm not gonna lie, I would check. And my friend had been like, don't check, like, you're gonna find something out. And I wanted to see if they were back on dating apps because I felt like it would help me move on. Like, oh, they're moving on, like, you should too. A month later, back on dating apps, which that was one thing that we had a big problem with, and they thought it was trust and jealousy. To me, it was more like, you've been showing signs that you want to, like, leave. Anyways, that's embarrassing. I do kind of feel bad for their next person, though, because, like, they were out looking for you a month after telling me how much they loved me. That's not really something you want to deal with. So I saw that, and I called one of my friends. I was sobbing. I was crying, you know, like, if they're back on dating apps now, do you think they ever really loved me? You know, everybody else I had asked, like, I asked my, like, other friends, they were like, I don't think they loved you to begin with, which would hurt because my first ever relationship, they told me I never liked to begin with. And that's when I started having problems that people just don't like me. The second relationship, I liked that person for like a year before they liked me back. So it kind of felt like I convinced them to like me. So this person that did like me, you know, everybody's telling me, I don't think they loved you to begin with. It's like, so I called this other friend crying, asking, do you think it's possible they never loved me? And this friend is really wise. Thank God for this girl. She's helped me in so many things that she probably doesn't even know the extent of things she's helped me with. Like, literally life-changing stuff. She says, I don't think that he never loved you. She said, I think maybe he's not as strong as you and can't be single and needs a rebound. And I had not thought about it like that before. Like when I saw that, I was thinking, oh my God, I dated a whore. When she told me that, it kind of did change my whole view because I wasn't looking for somebody else. I still don't want anybody else. I want to be single, and I need to be single for this next part that I'm going to get to, which is I was mentioning my fear of people leaving me once they get to know me. And this friend asked me, like, are you sure that doesn't come from a place of insecurity? And in that moment, that's when it clicked. That's when it clicked that I never left this person because I was scared that it was the best I was ever going to get. And all of that did come from a place of insecurity. Literally before I met this person, I was really insecure. I just started getting confidence, and this person gave me so much confidence at the beginning. And it felt amazing that I had this newfound confidence. Everybody was telling me you're glowing, like you seem so happy. People want to talk to you more. And this person did give me all that confidence, which it was fun until this person left me and all of it went back away. So when this friend mentioned that idea, the rest of the drive home, because I was driving, I thought about that. And I decided that night, I need to work on my own confidence. I can't risk that happening again where I stay with somebody just because I think it's the best I'll ever get. That's not healthy at all. That's really insecure. And I did that. I can't risk that ever happening again. I need to focus on me and making me happy. I need to be the reason why I'm happy. I'm a firm believer in a Steven Universe quote that your partner isn't your missing piece.
Your soulmate is your complement, not your missing piece. Whatever hole there is in your life, Stephen, I want you to understand that Connie, Stevani, won't be able to fill it.
They're not going to fill any void that you have. They're not going to fix all the problems. They're not going to fix the problems that you have. So I need to work on myself and my own confidence and insecurities because somebody else, sure, there could be like a minor fix for a little bit, but it's still going to be there. See, I thought I was so confident, but at the same time, I felt like this was the best I was ever going to get. And I was getting less than the bare minimum. That's not good. I need to get to a point where if somebody doesn't like me anymore, I'll think they're lost. Which, honestly, hot take. Everybody says, you're supposed to treat them like they're the prize. I believe everyone should see themselves as the prize. Don't act like it. Don't act entitled. Don't act like you're the shit. But you should know that you are the prize. And this other person is your own prize as well. Like you're both the prize. Just for each other, So that's my journey that I've been going on. Self-confidence, making myself happy. I don't care if it takes another week, if it takes another month, if it takes another year, if it takes another few years. I don't care how long it takes. I don't want to date until I find that for myself. And I can't date until I find that for myself. If not, the cycle's going to continue for me. And I'm not doing that again. So anyways, I'm going on a trip to that city because I also fell in love with the city. And everyone's in that city these days. I don't know why, but everyone's there. And every time I see that city, I think of this person because those are the only memories I have of that city. It's a really popular city, but we never went there growing up. So anytime somebody says it, the only memories I have are my dates with this person. So I want to go to that city and I want to make my own memories there so that whenever somebody mentions that city, I think of those new memories that I have with myself, Which is crazy because that city, I fell in love with that city. Like I even thought about moving there, not for this person. I thought of moving there because there's so much to do and the city's so nice that I thought about moving there with like a roommate. And I work from home, so I can kind of do that if I can afford it, But it wouldn't have been for that person, it would have been for me. And now it's like that city's kind of ruined for me now. So I want to take that love back. Even though it's their city, like they live in it, I don't care. I need my own memories there. I can't keep thinking of this person. So yeah, that's my journey. It's been kind of hard because I've been only on this journey for a month now. And well, it has its ups and downs. I feel great some days and Other days, I changed my hair a little bit in a way that I thought it looked so much better. But to the average Joe, they would say, you look exactly the same. But it's enough where I feel better, and that's all that matters. I'm constantly saying in my videos, my hair looks stupid. Why does my hair look stupid? Do you think my hair looks stupid? And now I don't think that. Like, I like how my hair looks. If somebody does think it's stupid, I don't care, you know? There are some things where I am improving a lot. And I'm not the best looking person, right? But I'm also not the worst looking person. And I started like feeling like confident in myself. And I thought, I'm not the ugliest person on earth, you know? I don't think that anymore. And I went to the bowling alley with my brother for his birthday recently. And for a split second, I was like, why am I not turning anyone's head? And that did take me down a few steps, which is probably good because I never want an ego. I just want to be confident and not insecure, which I'm still very insecure. But at that point, I was like, well, I'm kind of good looking. And then that knocked me down a few reality levels. So it was kind of a good thing. But yeah, it's up and down. It's really up and down. I don't let myself listen to sad music. Honestly, Audrey Hobart's music really helped me a lot because, you know, like the song Phoebe, why else would you want me? I think I've got a fucked up face. And that thought used to haunt me till I fell in its sweet embrace. Who cares if I'm pretty? That song, if you haven't listened to it, you need to listen. The whole album is so good. It has a danceability rating of 5 out of 5 stars. 5 stars. Okay? Little things like that do improve your mood a lot. I recommend that for everyone. If you're insecure, do that. I started going to coffee shops that I'd never been to just because I need to stop being so shy and nervous all the time and I need to talk to people. And now I do it like it's nothing, you know? I take myself on solo dates. At first it was kind of nerve-wracking because like you're by yourself at like Yogurtland. So it can be nerve-wracking, but once you get used to it, you feel better. And those things will make you happy in the end. And you don't need somebody to come with you. You don't need to ask somebody to be with you. You're by yourself and you're happy, which I think everybody needs to learn how to enjoy their own company. Emma Chamberlain's videos also taught me to enjoy my own company. You know, it's little things can improve your mood a lot. And I definitely think everybody should do that. Especially if you're in the same boat as me. This person probably went straight back into dating. They have a lot of things they could work on. And they're probably going to continue the cycle with the next person. I do think that they just needed somebody in their corner. You know, I definitely think they just needed somebody there. Somebody to be their cheerleader. Somebody to love them. Somebody to show them love. And maybe not a relationship. Which sucks for me, and it'll suck for the next person until they grow, but it's not my problem anymore. Not that it was a problem. For me, I didn't see it as a problem. I saw it as a temporary thing that we could grow from, you know, but they didn't want to grow. I think they saw growth as change, and they didn't want to change themselves for someone else, which I get. You don't have to change yourself for somebody else. Never change yourself for somebody else. But growing and changing are kind of different concepts. You need to grow as a person. You need to keep growing. And yeah, you'll change as a person. You'll change your hobbies. You might change your ideals. But if it doesn't affect anyone negatively, then it's nothing bad. Humans are supposed to grow and change. And that's just how we are. And everyone's going to grow and change. Even your favorite show could change next week. Your favorite artist can change next week. My favorite music video just changed like a month or two ago. Before that, I had the same music video for years. Now my favorite music video is Sue Me by Audrey Hobart. You know, things are going to change and you need to be comfortable with that. I feel like I'm just throwing out random advice. Advice tip number 36. If you're in high school, start saving now. No, but yeah, definitely everybody could work. Everybody could have something that they could grow from. Whether it's a bad habit, a toxic trait, or even something as little as you want new hobbies. You want fun things to do. That's growing. That's growth. And that's amazingly beautiful. And never feel bad about that. And if somebody does make you feel bad about that, they're probably not the right person for you, mama. Okay? But yeah, I think that's all I've got for you guys today. I'm glad we ended this on a positive note because my life is I still cry here and there. But the thing is, I don't miss this. I don't ever want to be back with this person ever again in my life. I can't trust this person anymore. I feel like they lied to me about who they are. They lied to saying that they were really nice, fun person, and by the end they hated everyone and everything and complained about everything. So this person, I do hope they grow, and I hope I grow. And even if we didn't end on bad terms, and even if I don't hate this person, I'm telling you, I still never want to be back with this person. And that's not bad, you know. It's growth. Yeah, I'm glad we had this chat. If you like this video, it's very different from my normal videos. I don't plan on doing this like a normal thing, but every once in a while it couldn't hurt. Or if you guys want advice on anything, if I have advice, I can share my wisdom with you. I'm not very wise, but I've had a lot of experiences. And, well, if you like this video, let me know. Let me know if there's any other things you want me to cover. And yeah, as always, see you next time. Love ya. Bye.